And hello, everyone. My name is Crystal Myers-Barber, and it's Friday, very late evening, July the 18th, 2025. I want to explain what happened today with President Trump. And we're going to take a look at him and just a little bit of video so we can have a little bit of an understanding of what this Genius Act is. And so basically, our president has said that we would be the crypto capital of the world. And he is saying that he will ban CBDC, which is central banking digital currency. And he's made a way to get around it. So he just today changed crypto forever. And we're going to talk about stablecoin and, just a little bit about what is going on with him by him signing this game-changing crypto law that people are falling apart over. Marjorie Taylor Greene is basically saying it's a mark of the beast. And, I want to get into that. But basically, President Trump is vowing, as I mentioned, to ban this government digital dollar, which is CBDC. And so I want to talk about what this means and why it matters to you. So thanks for tuning in. I want to also thank you for watching the replay. We're going to take a look at the vote that went through for this act to pass. I think many people have tried to get it through the years. But yesterday on the 17th, the House did pass it with 308 votes to 122. And yesterday also, the Senate approved it 68 to 30. We saw President Trump coming out and signing it, making it a law. It actually takes 18 months to even go into effect, which is really interesting. So we won't even, this is all like a process. So let's take a look at President Trump. And I'll be right there with you, and we'll explain more of this. Sorry. Because I really want to hear from a president, in case you missed it, because he spoke for almost an hour today, and it was really good. I can never find it. Sorry, it's very late.
But it was so important. And in a truly momentous act last March, I signed an executive order establishing the U.S. Strategic Bitcoin Reserve, as well as the United States Digital Asset Stockpile. And that's all signed up. And with today's signing, we're pushing even further into the exciting new frontier. Just as I promised last year, the Genius Act creates a clear and simple regulatory framework to establish and unleash the immense promise of dollar-backed stable coins. This could be perhaps the greatest revolution in financial technology since the birth of the internet itself. A lot of people are saying that. I don't know. What do you guys think? Yes? I think it's great that you're involved, I will tell you. Many Americans are unaware that behind the scenes, the technical backbone of the financial system is decades out of date, many years out of date. You know that Paul and others are straightening it out, but payments and money transfers are costly and take days or even weeks to clear. Under this bill, the entire ancient system will be eligible for a 21st century upgrade using the state-of-the-art crypto technology. Who would have thought we would have been saying that 2 years after I really met you for the first time? The Genius Act provides banks, businesses, and financial institutions a framework for issuing crypto assets backed one for one with real U.S. dollars, treasury bills, and other cash equivalents. It's really strengthening the dollar and giving the dollar great prominence. And, you have this little group called BRICS. It's fading out fast. But BRICS is, they wanted to try and take over the dollar, the dominance of the dollar, and the standard of the dollar. And I said, anybody that's in the BRICS consortium of nations, we're going to tariff you 10%. And they had a meeting the following day, and almost nobody showed up. They were basically, no, we didn't want to. They didn't want to be tariffed to the head of us. It's amazing. No, we're not going to let the dollar slide. If we have a smart president, you're never going to let the dollar slide. If you have a dummy, that could happen. Like the last one, he would, if you ever asked him about the dollar slide, he would have no idea. But we can't let that ever happen again. Consumers, vendors, and people all over the world will then be able to use those stable coins for ultra low cost transactions that are cleared and settled in a matter of seconds rather than weeks and months. And it's really an amazing thing. With privacy, flexibility, and decentralization of cash, this revolution has the potential to supercharge American economic growth and empower billions of people to save and transfer in U.S. dollars. It's really all backed by the dollars. It's really a great thing. And a lot of, we had a lot of Democrat support. I have to tell you that. I was shocked anytime you get one Democrat, but we had a tremendous amount of Democrat support, which we appreciate, and which just shows you that you're doing the right thing. This will increase demand for U.S. Treasuries, lower interest rates, and secure the dollar's status as the world's reserve currency for generations to come. The reserve currency is so important. If we lost that would be like losing a world war. We can never let anyone play games with us, and that's why when I heard about this group from BRICS, 6 countries basically, I hit them very, very hard. And if they ever really form in a meaningful way.
So basically, basically, President Trump is, I feel like he's once again, remove this, protecting America, and he's mainstreaming this, way for currency. So he basically is regulating what he mentioned, stablecoin. And so, which is the digital version of the US dollar used in crypto. And so I have this little diagram that I want to add so you can kind of, see this with me. And I'm going to explain this so we can, really get a grasp of what this really is. We're going to go over and also take a look at Marjorie Taylor Greene and talk about that for a second. But basically, this allows approved companies like PayPal, Circle, or even banks to issue dollar-backed digital coins with strict rules. So it has a 100% reserve backing, monthly audits, consumer protections, and it's tied directly to the US dollar. This move is meant to protect users, boost innovation, and strengthen the dollar globally, like he was just saying. And stablecoin are a type of cryptocurrency that stay stable. They're pegged to the US dollar. For example, $1 US is equal to $1, like it says here on the little diagram. Think of it like a digital version of a dollar bill, but faster, borderless, and on the blockchain. They're used for fast payments, trading crypto, sending money around the world instantly. So a lot of people are afraid of this blockchain situation, but here's a twist. Trump fully supports private stable coins. And he says he's not ever going to allow CBDC, which is central bank digital currency. A CBDC is a government-controlled digital dollar run by the Federal Reserve. And Trump says it's a threat to privacy and freedom, and it sure is. That is actually how we would be tracked. It would be a social credit score like China. We don't want the CBDC. We don't want a way it would be a cashless society, in other words. So President Trump is saying, I'm never going to allow the creation of a central bank digital currency. It would give the federal government absolute control over your money. And he said this back in 2024 before he was elected. And he said it again today in the video. If you want to go back and watch it, you can find it. So stablecoin is controlled by a private company, and Trump's position is obviously he supports it. Whereas CBDC is a Federal Reserve and is fully tracked. So there's privacy issues that may be going on with stablecoin, but it says some privacy. Who has privacy anywhere? I mean, we're seeing this now, but definitely with CBDC, the government could freeze your spending. The social credit stuff that I was just talking about. Basically, he's drawing the line saying yes to freedom-based crypto. And he's kind of like mainstreaming a way for crypto to go. However, as you can see on my little diagram here with Bitcoin being up there, that it's very volatile. You know, if you're going to have Ethereum, Bitcoin, LXM, XRP, whatever, all these are volatile digital currencies. But Trump will allow all this to happen. And so basically, it looks like we're just getting into more of the digital flow of the market. It's going more mainstream. And so we're just getting a lesson here. And really, when it comes down to it, we're going to talk about the prophecy in the Bible here in a sec, but let's just go back and see if there's anything else that it's a historic crypto law. I mean, the Genius Act, there's a lot more to it, but this is, you know, the outline of it that I wanted to cover, because you know, I see Trump trying to look out for the dollar, and it's, you know, we know that there's a lot of destabilization going on, and he mentioned some of the Democrats going for this, but I know many of them would rather have the other. You know, they wanted for us to be tracked. I know it. So anyway, this Genius Act is not even going to go into effect until 2027, which is so weird. So it's not even going to take effect for a whole 18 months unless they said regulators move faster. So we're off a ways down the line on this, but it is good for us to have this option to use for other payments with PayPal, you know, so forth. And so let's see if there's anything else I wanted to cover. I want to also take us over. I'm going to show you if I can find it. Thought I had this up. Oh, there it is. Rep Marjorie Taylor Greene. You know, so she was freaking out today and posting this. I'll make it bigger so you can see it. Hopefully you can. So basically, she made a point to put the scripture up and say, I will not vote for this. She's basically saying that she's not voting for this Genius Act. And she says it doesn't ban CBDC or maintain people's chain of custody. And then, of course, she put the Revelation 13 up, which is about, you know, taking the mark. And hey, let's just really be honest here. We know that the prophecy is going to happen. And God told me this years ago, that central banking digital currency is the entrance into obviously the mark of the beast. I mean, it's not even like, you don't even have to know the Bible to understand this at this point. So we do know that a lot of these things seem to be forming now while we are alive, unfortunately. It's like, but at least with the Trump presidency and, you know, him being there, apparently it looks like he's going to fight like hell for that to ever happen while he's there, you know, holding office. And so we know that the prophecy and Revelation is going to happen. It's just we don't know when. And so she's making a really big deal about it, you know, right now. And I even commented under her saying that he just pretty much made it dead in the water for that to happen, because he's legalizing private stablecoin. And so the competition for it has changed. And so there'll be private options. And so I think that Trump has a pretty good vision for us. And I think she's just trying to hype this up. And I think she's wrong. So the war for digital money has begun. That is definitely a true statement, though. I want to add that. And so we definitely see all this stuff changing and changing fast. Another thing that happened today that I sort of want to make mention is the whole Tulsi Gabbard release of information. But with the whole thing with Tulsi Gabbard, and I'll bring us over to that too. I'll just look it up right now while I'm here. There she is. She's already pulled up. She declassified some information that we already really knew about. This is not new, okay? This is not new at all. So she declassed some information about Obama, and we saw this years ago, but it's kind of like back out in the open. And many Democrats, even Mike Pence, was saying release the Epstein file, and so they're kind of getting this as a bonus, this stuff coming out, which is really something, because we had this coming out, which I'll show you, but at the same time, she was declassing this, being on Sean Hannity's show, I think last night. We woke up today with 3 sheriffs being killed in a terrible bombing accident. So that is a terrible tragedy that has taken over all the stories here in our Los Angeles on the radios and everything. So this information that Tulsi has released has not even made it, and who would expect it to make it to the radio anyway? Because they're all, it's just proof, even more proof that it's propaganda machines. We've got propaganda machines with the Washington Post. Trying to remember if that's the one that Trump is suing for the fake story. I'm trying to recall. It's not the Washington Post. Sorry, it's something else. But they are. He's suing them, and then NBC News and New York Times, just weaponized over the Russia hoax, basically. So Americans, she says, will finally learn the truth about how in 2016 intelligence was politicized and weaponized by the most powerful people in the Obama administration. And she basically just says, Obama was the one that wrote this whole Russian dossier, or actually Hillary funded it, all the same names that we've heard. So I was like, okay, yeah, we've heard all these people, we've heard all these names, we've heard Brennan, and now he's under investigation for his role in promoting this discredited Steele dossier. But I want to know who's going to be indicted. We're going to bring up all these names right now, okay? But has it been too long to indict anybody? Are we past a place where we're going to see these names again, but it's been too long? I mean, how are they going to work that angle? That's what I wonder. So we have the Clinton campaign being brought up. We already know Trump had surveillance so much that he moved out of the White House because he was being spied on the Spygate, and he moved into Mar-a-Lago. They even raided his home later with that fake raid, and took documents out of his own home because he lived there, because he had to leave the White House because of the Spygate. But we have all these names coming back up, which is nice, and so they're under investigation. We have some of these people under investigation, and Brennan may still face conspiracy charges, but it has a 5-year statute of limitation has lapsed. Are we going to hear that there's a statute of limitation for all these people? So bring this up. Yeah, let's bring this up. That's good. Let's discredit all the same people. And we can talk about all this again, but what are they going to do? I started getting all upset about it because we see all the same players. Comey, the Durham got, proved that Trump and the whole Russia thing was baseless, and found that Obama officials continue to advance a bullshit collusion narrative even after it was full of crap. Just seriously. But what are they going to do about it? So what are you going to do about Tulsi? Like, I don't really want to waste your time and play her talking about this on Sean Hannity, because they're kind of like naming up 2016. I mean, who can even grasp the stuff that's happening and the things that's coming out in the news? Because there's so much coming out, so you almost have to just be careful about what you take into your spirit, and you try to stay up with all this. But I'm not going to really waste your time unless I hear about some indictments. I'm ready to talk about somebody that's really going to go down for this, somebody that's going to prison and being charged with this. I mean, because we have some of the people that were trafficking being, charged. They're suiciding themselves, and there's victims that are being suicided. And then it's just a very dangerous, the Epstein thing. So we'll see where that goes. But I really don't want to waste a lot of time on this right now. I haven't looked up what Liz Crokin is. I always try to look and see what she has to say because she's on top of this Epstein thing. I think she was out of the country though. Had to be on the plane last night when some of this stuff was breaking. This is what I was thinking. So Stephen Miller, she reposted. Let me bring you back over there because I am on there now looking at her post. Just curious. A seditious conspiracy to overthrow the government and democracy of the United States. There's almost nothing the deep state will not do, perpetuate its power over the people. And so she's talking about Tulsi Gabbard. Their goal was to usurp President Trump and subvert the will of the American people. Yeah, we definitely know that. So no matter how powerful, every person involved in this conspiracy must be investigated and prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Okay, Tulsi, we'll be waiting. We'll be waiting. And she basically says the integrity of our democratic republic depends upon it. We're turning over all documents to the Department of Justice for criminal referral. All right, let's do this. Let's turn it over. Let's basically see what comes of this. Because it's like, okay, July the 19th. Now we flipped over to a new day because it's 12:11 here a.m. And I'm gonna be waiting. I'll write this down in my calendar. We'll come back and we'll look at this day together. Like when did this next part transpire? What we have a better Department of Justice right now. So what will they do? And I'm gonna end with that. Yeah. So great. Awesome. So tell me what your thoughts are on the stablecoin, the cryptocurrency. Do you own cryptocurrency? Do you know anything about it? Are you planning on it? Are you excited about what President Trump is doing? I'd really love to know. And what are your thoughts on all this stuff coming out about Obama? Oh, and one more thing. Obama said that every child should have a gay person in their life. You can go look that up on X or probably just simply type it into the internet. So there's a lot of stuff happening with that. Let's see if I can find it. A lot of stuff with that. So that way, here it is. Let's just, that way you'll really go, oh my God, he really did say that. I didn't make this up. July 17th. Important to realize that when Obama says you need a gay friend to one day help your kids be gay, that's the very reason we see the LGBTQ. This is from Julie Gunlick. Indoctrination in public schools today. Don't have a friend? Don't worry. The school will take care of it. So, memes everywhere probably.
Boys need is, and that's one of the things that I think a lot of times boys need is not just exposure to one guy.
Mm-hmm. One dad.
No matter how good the dad
is. He can't be everything.
He can't be everything. And that boy may need somebody to give the boy some perspective on the dad.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
One of the most valuable things I learned as a guy was I had a gay professor in college.
So he basically says being around gay men helps boys develop emotional awareness, empathy, and a broader perspective. So this is a person that is, there's a lot going on there. And the whole propaganda thing with the Russiagate, the way he lied like this. And so there's more that really needs to come out. And people need to see it. But they need to, he's going on. This was the 17th, and I guess Tulsi released this stuff on the 18th. And I don't know if he's saying anything about it. No idea. Or maybe they're just hoping nobody's going to notice. Or they just, or do they think they're above the law and they're not? They know that nothing's going to happen. I really don't know that part, but we shall wait and see. And I hope I'm so wrong. I hope I come back and just a couple weeks, 3 weeks, whatever down the can be, how long can it be? It's been years already. It's almost been 10 years since they made this up. It was back in 2016. So, I mean, actually it has been 10 years almost. So next year will be 10 years. And so, like, how much longer do we have to wait? That's all I have to say. Anyway, God bless y'all. Thanks for watching. Please get your life straight with the Lord. The mark is going to happen one day, and we are not going to be raptured out of here. The rapture is not going to, you're not going to be, you need to be emotionally and physically and spiritually ready for this. And the Neuralink, they've already got it down teeny tiny now. No wires, everything. And so they've advanced it. And then I'm going to get back to my old style reporting when I used to talk about all this, because there were contracts out with the whole, not Neuralink, but the whole, I guess it's like Neuralink. Governments are giving contracts out to other companies besides Elon Musk, is what I'm trying to say, to implant the chip. That's it, the chip. Sorry, I couldn't think. The chip is not going to be just through one company. I'm not kidding. This is going to happen so fast. The other thing that I meant to have queued up and I don't is that there are robots walking around. There are full-size robots. I'm going to get back to my old style reporting, because some of the stuff I'm just like, okay, 18 months, we're going to have this, thing go into effect with Trump. And then we got Tulsi releasing this, and what's really happening. But this is really happening. We have full-size robots walking around in Santa Monica and Santa Barbara. And, I haven't been to LA in just a couple months, but last time I went, it had really changed. We saw the delivery robots, and then you have the Waymo cars, which are the autonomous vehicles. Well, now they have full-size robots walking around, and they put a cowboy hat on them or maybe some clothes, and they're interacting with some people, looking like kind of sort of friendly, but kind of so weird, so very weird. So this is happening in Santa Monica, and like I said, I've seen video on TikTok with it happening in Santa Barbara. They're trying to normalize this, and they're trying to normalize, first of all, Waymo is going to roll out like crazy. And everybody saw the cars on fire out in Los Angeles. That kind of went viral. So you really understand what this car looks like. So it's a self-driving car, and people are getting in those things like crazy. But in, let's see, they're going to advance. I think they said November, it's coming November. They're going to just advance them. So I suspect we'll see them out here in Orange County, probably. And they'll be out everywhere. And so, Kimberly, what's up with the robots? I don't know. Okay, that agenda, that one, I think, is something we should be worried about. And this is what I think. I think that it has to do with surveillance. I think it has to do with stuff that's not going to be so good down the road. But it's almost like this stuff is happening so quickly. We've seen so much go up, especially with the cameras. Oh my gosh, do you guys have cameras like we have out here? We have cameras up, and there's devices and things that I just don't even know how to explain, but I know they're surveillance. Like they conditioned us years ago when they had the blue light special at Kmart. You had because my husband and I, we make jokes and laugh about this, and they had those things, and the blue light would flash and people would run over there. I guess it was a sale, but now they have these poles, and they have these shields, and it reads your license plate, so they know who you are, and they can identify you, and they speak to you in Home Depot parking lots. You've seen them. We were in a parking lot at CVS, and some homeless people, transient, I guess, walked by. They were not clothed. They were half naked. I'll just say it. And so that thing started speaking. It was way across the parking lot. It said, "You are being recorded. You're being recorded," or whatever it said. And I was like, oh my gosh, they're not talking to us. Because then I saw them and I was like, these two guys. And so I was like, good Lord. So Kimberly says, are they spies? Yeah, probably. I mean, they are probably gathering information. I've seen kids and adults interact with them, and I've seen them in China for some reason on TikTok dancing. So they're trying to really make them part of the society, I think. So them things are recording, yeah, in Calabasas at a Mercedes dealership because you're being recorded. Yeah, exactly. They speak. Those I'm reading comments, everybody. I think from Facebook. Yeah. So those poles with the shields, and they're called something. I'm sorry, but they're run by the police departments. So your local police departments are they're speaking through them. I really have so much to learn. And we won't even go to the air support, which is above, that has autonomous planes in the sky and autonomous helicopters. I just have so much information that I'd really rather get back to and talk about that has to do with surveillance and the biotechnologies, nanotechnologies, and really the things that I learned back in 2022. I had no idea how important it would be right now, especially with Joe Biden signing, not with an auto pen, but signing, some of the fake food stuff that happened with the meats and everything back in 2022 when I was screenshotting all this. I had no idea it would be so important right now, because we're seeing evidence of our foods show up now where we're having fake meat, beef, fake beef. And I've brought stuff home and started cooking that and from different places. And I just thought, this is not the same beef. This is not real. So I think there's subjects that may be of interest to everyone since this is happening so quickly and we're living it. And I have met some people that have so much knowledge on these subjects, but honestly, I think that I would be banned at times for talking on some of these platforms. So I have to figure this out. And so you guys are going to have to follow me in some other places like Rumble. Go ahead and go to Rumble and follow me over there under Promo Girl 07. And I'm also on YouTube and X. I'm kind of really down on X. I know I'm streaming live there, but President Trump has left the building since July the 4th. And since Elon has basically said he's going to start another party. I think that might have everything to do with it, but I haven't seen a post since the 4th because Elon Musk came out on the 5th and said that. So, yeah, I'm so shadow banned there. I just keep posting anyway, but I just really am thankful if I'm reaching a few people. I'm thankful because I have so much knowledge and I feel like God has really put me in this spot. Well, my next guest is someone who believes in miracles. He's seen signs and wonders, and I've witnessed this myself. So we're going to be talking about that on my next upcoming show where I'm going to have a guest. I'm going to be able to announce this very soon. We're planning it now. He lives in Pennsylvania, and he has an incredible ministry with healing, and I've actually had prayer from him and I've been healed. So I am so excited to bring him on, and we are going to have an incredible show. I don't always just talk about politics because I want to also bring God into this picture, because we really all need hope in this dark day. And I'm telling you, Jesus is the light of the world, and we are the salt and light of the earth. So we are going to really need to lean in to Holy Spirit and understand that it's great. He's greater. Greater is he that is in us than he that is in the world. And we need to have ways to overcome these frequencies, these things that are happening. with the towers and the pulses and the things that I know that are happening and how. I have solutions, and I'm using some of these solutions right now. And I've talked about them many times. And I'll just give you a couple tips right now. I'll repeat it again. I put my phone in a Faraday cage at night, which is a little pouch that I turn off the phone and I put it up. We unplug our Wi-Fi at night. We turn off our router, and we do everything we can to stop the radiation. And so I know we live in a digital day. Everything's becoming digital, and we really need to be smart, and we need to find out how to protect ourselves from all of this. And so I will link my Amazon store to all of these broadcasts so that you can see some of my favorite products and how I am using these products to try to stop this radiation so that we can feel good and do what God's called us to do. Well, once again, I want to thank you for watching. I hope you have an incredible weekend, and I'll be back soon with my guest, as I promised. And I'll be back soon talking about some of these other subjects that I really want to dive into. Okay, so God bless y'all again, and thank you so much for watching. Have an incredible weekend, and God bless you.